Let's go out now to a story we have been following from the very beginning in Moscow, Idaho. Those 4 students on campus who were found stabbed to death. Police still don't have a suspect or suspects in custody. We're going to be joined now live from the campus of the University of Idaho by Fox 13 Seattle reporter AJ Janavel. And AJ, thanks so much for being with us. And you just got there. You're gearing up for this vigil on campus tomorrow night. What more do we know?
Andrew, so many questions still remain. A concerning situation as students started getting back to campus following Thanksgiving break. They got back this week. You can see behind me right at one of the entrances of the university this memorial here with the names of the 4 students who were murdered. 2 weeks later, they still don't have a lot on what happened. The big question is looking for suspect information, but there is a large effort that is going on in the town of Moscow to try and find answers. There are dozens of local as well as state police investigating. There's also 40+ members of the FBI who are a part of this investigation. But as those students make their way back this week, and the people who live in this community are still waiting for answers, there are a lot of questions that do remain. 4 students murdered. The tragic and heinous attack happening where they should feel most safe, at their home. The deadly home invasion happening sometime in the early morning of Sunday, November 13th. This map breaking down the timeline and locations of key events, police say. Investigators saying the attacker stabbed the young adults to death, likely while they slept. However, autopsy data shows some of the victims had defensive wounds. 21-year-old Kaylee Conclaves, 21-year-old Madison Mogan, 20-year-old Xana Kernodle, and 20-year-old Ethan Chapin, a young man from our area in Skagit County, were killed. Fox 13 News hearing from Chapin's mom earlier this month.
Ethan Chapin, one of the most incredible people you'll ever know.
More than 2 weeks out with no weapon and no named suspect, Moscow police continue the investigation.
This crime and the loss of these young lives is just simply beyond comprehension.
State police and the FBI are now working alongside the local department. 488 tips have been submitted to the FBI, according to the Moscow Police Department. But with the information also comes confusion and fear. Police spending a lot of time addressing rumors that continue to pop up, including conspiracy theorists on Reddit focusing on a red Mustang on South Deacon Street. However, police say the car is not connected to the case. One lead police are looking into is reports Conclaves had a stalker. Following investigations into this possibility, police have not verified if this is true. Officials are calling the murders a targeted attack, but not saying why they believe this to be the case. On the night of the murders, 2 other roommates and a dog were in the home and unharmed and unaware of the violence happening just feet away. Students of the university now deal with uncertainty as they return to campus.
No one would have ever imagined something slightly like this could happen in Moscow, Idaho.
So even though police believe that this is a targeted attack, that killer is still out there somewhere, and police are asking this community to remain vigilant. They're also asking anyone that might have any information that leads to answers to contact them. Andrew?
You know, AJ, I was also kind of curious, this community, very, very small. They haven't even seen a homicide for, almost 10 years. Let's talk about the vigil being planned for tomorrow. How many people are they expecting? Who's going to be speaking? Have we heard also, local, state, federal elected leaders? Will they be there tomorrow?
Andrew, I think that this incident has impacted not just the community here in Moscow, but a short way from where we are is the city of Pullman, where Washington State University is located. So you have 2 big colleges, 2 big universities with a lot of young adults. What happened here is a terrifying situation. We've heard from so many leaders through so many different departments, law enforcement, city leaders over the last few weeks, just speaking about how heartbreaking this situation is, how terrifying this situation is. You have a campus here with more than 10,000 students. I think that you can expect a large turnout tomorrow, especially with what we've already seen and heard and the effects that this tragic incident has had on so many people. Andrew?
AJ, just last question for you were based in Seattle. It's some 300 miles away, but it just shows how much this story has affected not only Idaho, but Washington State in particular. Why?
Well, I think that any parent, any student, any family who hears that 4 young adults, 4 students essentially in their home right off the campus deal with such a terrifying situation is really anyone's biggest fear. But for us in the Western Washington area, in the Seattle area, Ethan Chapin was a part of our community out of Skagit County, a member of Western Washington, and this murder, his murder, has had such a big effect on the people who live in the area where we work and cover and work to give a voice to the people in that community. Andrew?
All right, we do thank AJ Jabno there outside of the University of Idaho campus. We're going to continue with this story right now as well, because we want to head out to outside of the Moscow Police Department. That's where we find Fox News multimedia reporter Ashley Soriano. We spoke to her earlier today. Let's check in with her yet again. I know it's cold out there, Ashley, but this vigil is going to be held tomorrow night. What more, though, are police saying? They've had to kind of swat down some of these rumors about their investigation. Give us a sense.
Hey there, Andrew. That's exactly right. On that vigil tomorrow, there will actually be one across 4 of the University of Idaho's campuses. And that just goes to show you how important this is to the entire state and the university system. As for some updates, police have actually earlier this afternoon, they towed some of the victims' vehicles from the parking lot right in front of the house where they were killed. And that is a new development. It's been over 2 weeks since they were killed, and those cars have largely remained just parked there, but they have towed those vehicles to collect some evidence. They're also dispelling rumors about a possible connection to some other stabbings. Police have said they found no evidence connecting these killings in Moscow to a 1999 double stabbing in Pullman, Washington, and another in Salem, Oregon in 2021. The City of Moscow Police Department has taken to Facebook quite frequently to dispel some of these rumors that are running rampant on social media. So that is the best place to find those updates. We haven't had a news conference and heard from police since last Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving. But again, they just continue to update on social media. Andrew.
Okay. Ashley Soriano there live for us outside the Moscow Police Department. Ashley, thanks so much. We will definitely be checking in tomorrow.
Thanks, Andrew.